just there to assist me to locate it.
Now Justice Tabally,
yes,
with regards to recording the sales record,
yeah.
who did this report? Is it not your office?
It's the sheriff's office.
It's the sheriff's office.
Yes.
This record is submitted to the Attorney General through the office of the sheriff.
Of the sheriff, yeah.
So, but like he said, the report is incomplete.
Yes.
Just like you mentioned.
Yes.
You think you will have the?
I am not quite sure. Like I said,
but where did you get this report from? How did you develop this report?
The record that was emanated from the handwritten notes that the bailiffs had. Like I said before, I recall there was some discrepancies as to the complete records, because at some point the recording was halted. The recording of all the sales.
Who did the handwritten report?
This was authored by Alaji Kasama.
So you think Alaji will not have the complete report?
I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure. Because I believe he developed this from his own handwriting.
Now, to be fair to the honorable member, I think we will have to put an order for you to go after that report, the handwritten report, so that we can verify and tally this. I think it's also in for your interest as well, because the number that is in the report does not tally with what you have sold.
Yes.
And then if you look at the amount of money deposited, it's more than what is recorded here.
Exactly, yeah.
So I think we put that order. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Tabally, we are just trying, we just want you to give us the benefit of the doubt. We are giving you every opportunity to go back and sort that out for us. If I may ask Mr. Tabally, during this period, how many personal bank accounts do you have?
Personally, I only maintain a current account.
You don't have a savings account?
I once had a saving account, but at this particular time, it was closed, I think, before I became sheriff at the Access Bank.
But you are not sure? You are sure that it was closed before the start of this exercise?
So I wouldn't say it's closed, it's dormant. I have not done any activity on the account since I became sheriff.
Mr. Tabally,
yes.
If you have a piece of paper with you there,
yes.
Can you write down these two accounts, numbers, and the bearing name, and submit to us?
I don't have the details with me, the Access Bank, because I've been dormant for more than close to 10 years now.
Okay, now I will make it very simple for all of us.
Yes.
I want to apply that, Justice Tabally. Honorable Chair, I want to apply that Justice Tabally submit his statements of account from January 2018 to January 2019 of the two said accounts, the savings and the current account, your personal accounts. And if you can submit that at least by Wednesday, because you said time is not on your side. So I'll be willing to give you more time instead of...
With respect to my current account, that is at the Trust Bank, I can make that available by Wednesday. I'm not sure about the other one. I don't even have the details now, because it's been dormant for close to 10 years. I don't have any other account apart from the Trust Bank now.
Yeah, we just want you to go back to the bank.
Yes.
We want to confirm this with the bank that the account was dormant for over 10 years, for example.
Yes.
Not just taking what is coming from you for so many reasons. So as such, we want you to go to the bank and get us a statement on these two accounts.
Okay.
Please.
Okay, I'll try.
That's fine.
Okay. Yes.
Mr. Tabally, there is a file from your office that you submitted to this committee. I want to ask about this file. Was this file actually labeled?
Ordinarily, all files in the sheriff's office, once a file is been compiled, it is identified and marked bearing the name of parties.
So, with this specific file,
yes,
was that done?
I want to believe that it was done. Because that is the only way you can identify it from among many.
Do you have a reference number for the file?
We maintain, ordinarily, I think we maintain a number that is assigned to every case from the registry.
Specifically, does the file have a reference number?
I'm not quite sure about that, but all files are, they have...
The normal practice is all files should have a reference number.
All files, because the originating process, once it is filed, a number is assigned to it, a reference number. That we maintain that up to the level of the sheriff. The sheriff does not initiate or create its own reference number apart from the one that is, yeah.
Can you also provide this committee the reference number of that particular file by Wednesday?
Let me see.
Honorable Jammeh, the reference is already available. It's on the order of the High Court, the one delivered on 22nd May, and all the other subsequent orders. Right after where it says in the High Court of the Gambia, that's the number.
Okay, then that's fine. Yes. Just almost a very final one, Mr. Justice Tabally. I want us to look at the affidavit. Affidavit in support of motion. It was sworn in by Mr. Jammeh. And if you look at the affidavit on number 12, it stated that you have in record that 600 cattle were recorded. And I can read for your understanding with the permission of the chair. During the tagging exercise, it was discovered that the number of cattle has reduced to less than 600 since my report. That was the affidavit that was sworn in by Mr. Jammeh. Was that the case?
I was not present during the tagging, and I was not even privy to this affidavit sworn to by Mr. Jallo in support of the application. I was not privy to it because it's sent to the court concerned. It remain in the court's file. Only the order is presented to the sheriff.
Is that normal?
Yes, that's ask counsel. That's normal.
No, I wouldn't ask counsel. I have to ask you right now. You are the one who should
because
answer.
Even application is missing in court. Is the court concerned that would keep that record?
So is it also a normal practice for one to come up with such a motion or an affidavit without attaching an inventory of, for example, the properties or the cattle that you intend to dispose?
Without prejudicing the authority of the court issuing it. Some courts may rely on the affidavit without attachment to grant an application if they are satisfied.
My question is it a normal practice?
The usual practice is to attach any documents that you wanted to rely on in support of an affidavit.
So why in this specific case that wasn't done? Looking at the sensitiveness of the ex-president's cattle or properties, was it really something right that one should do, more especially from the office of the sheriff? Before you act, is it not right for you to have an attached inventory of the properties or cattle that you were supposed to dispose?
Let's be clear here. If an application is made to court, the inventory or the annexures or the documents attached to an affidavit in support of that is being relied on in the affidavit is for the purpose of consumption of the court, not for the sheriff. The order is presented to the sheriff. Sheriff has his own mandate based on the order issued to them, but not to go and search for an inventory that you're supposed to be attached to an affidavit that the court was satisfied to grant the order.
Justice Tabally, yes. If it is in order, yes, for one to attach annexures or an inventory, yes, to a court order, yes, will it not also be in order, yes, for the sheriff to be served with an annexure and an inventory in order to help them execute the order of the court? Or you were just blindly going out there to execute the order of the court without an inventory in order to determine what the court has ordered you to act on?
An inventory ordinarily sometimes at times is even done by the sheriff's office, provided it is the sheriff who attached and had the properties, the subject of sale, under their custody. But in this case, there was nothing of such. So the inventory referred to by you, I was not privy to it. Only the order of court was presented to us. So we are only concerned with the execution of the order.
How can you execute a court order without knowing the issues around the order? Because for me, the inventory was going to give you a better understanding of what you were supposed to dispose in connection to this matter.
Yeah, I agree that would have served as a guide for the sheriff's office to conduct this sale. But in the absence of that, it present a difficulty for all of us, I understand. But it did not occur to me that there was an inventory at the time before the issue of the order.
Sorry, Honorable Jammeh, before you just come in, the investigative team had sent someone to produce to the High Court. So the motion that subsequently, that the court granted subsequently, being the order of 3rd January 2018, those actually contain an inventory. The submissions of the High Court are still being copied by the printing department, but I have a copy here, and if you want to take a look, I can.
Yeah, counsel.
Yeah, so no, it's just to state that there's an inventory.
There's an inventory.
That the High Court had at the time.
At the time?
Yes.
So my issue is, why is it that the office of the sheriff would act without an attached inventory?
Just a moment. The court order referred to exhibits AJ1, AJ2, AJ. Sorry, the order that was presented or issued referred to exhibits as AJ1, AJ2, but did not specify whether it was an inventory or not.
Yeah, whether they specify whether it's an inventory or not, you being a sheriff at the time, I want to believe that you should be in a position to know that better than any other person than acting blindly on an order without knowing.
Yes, we would have been better guided in an inventory, but in this case, an inventory was not presented to us.
So he just went ahead to sell the cattle without an inventory.
Yes.
If I may ask you, what do you mean by that AJ1 and AJ2?
It's referred to in the order of the court. It's referred to by, because if the order states that an attachment exhibits AJ1 inventory, it did not specify, it only said exhibits AJ1 and AJ2. What that specifically referred to mean, I don't know from the order.
Okay, you don't know, but you don't also find time to ask what that AJ1 and AJ2 were?
No.
Hmm?
No, I do not.
Okay, Chair. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, Glenn.
Thank you very much, Justice. Just want to thank you for assisting the committee in doing their work. And I also want to thank you for your boldness and also for your decisiveness in answering questions, and also where you have done wrong, you said you take responsibility. Yes. And I think that shows maturity, and I want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
Now, going to, I just want to connect to my colleague here about the issue of the inventory.
Yes.
Which was crucial, because for me, the way I see it is tantamount to you taking an inventory without really counting an inventory. Because if you are given like an order by the court asking to sell,
yes,
but whatever, you really need to know what number am I selling, where are they, who's in custody of those ones. But it seems, based on the question from the council and from my colleague, Honorable, it seems you guys just went ahead and then sell without actually even knowing what you are trying to sell. That's what it seems to me.
Yes, that is true.
Okay. Thank you. Now, also, if you look at some of the issues you've already confirmed, and I don't need to go back to state, which is the issue of the inventory, and then the issue of the valuation, and the issue of violating the court order, and by not engaging Gilma to assist you, yes, to be very specific, and also the failure to pay attention closely to the order of the court, which you've already confirmed. That was a lapse on your side. Now, I want us to go back to your own document here, which is which is OHS 12, which was your internal memo that you sent to the Judicial Secretary, and also, and you CC Honorable Chief Justice.
Yes.
Where you indicate subject auction sale of cattle in the matter of Attorney General and Yahya Jammeh, and this was dated 30th November.
Yes.
Now, I know Council has earlier asked the question, why that memo, and you did indicate it was as a result of an inquiry from probably a journalist or so,
yes,
that you wanted to help.
Yes.
Now, what is this actually showing? Is this showing that there was no record that you left behind? And that's the reason why the sheriff wanted, the current sheriff at the time, wanted you to give them a record of what actually has transpired. He said that there was no record.
Of course there was record, but I believe my Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice wanted an update of what had transpired, because what seemed to have been presented to him was not sufficient for him at the time. So he wanted more briefing on the issue. So I was the one sheriff at the time, so they requested me to provide. I did this off-head in my office in Brikama, without referring to the records in Banjul.
Yeah, so therefore it seems maybe there was not enough records, or somebody did not actually take a look.
At the time, that is what it appears to be, because I wouldn't think there would be no need for me to request to provide this if there was sufficient evidence for him at the time.
Okay. Now, on the order, you were requested as sheriff to sell and then place the proceeds in an interest-bearing account.
Yes.
Can you tell us how much interest have you earned with all this money you've deposited in the account? Can you tell us? Because you've attached statements to these documents. I think it was taken from Trust Bank account.
Yes.
Yeah, can you tell us how much interest did you earn?
I can't remember offhand, but at some point I remember 8.7 or 8.8 million.
No, those were deposits.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about the interest that you earn.
No, I mean, you know, if it is 8.3 as the deposits, if it goes up to 8.7 or 8.8, then the difference would be the interest that had accrued over the years. I cannot be certain as to the exact figure as now.
Yes, but wouldn't that be shown on the bank statement?
It will be not. It's not. This bank statement is not the updated bank statement as of the time all those interests would have accrued.
Well, then how often do the bank pay the interest? Because here the bank statement, the first transaction was January 12, 2018, and according to this one, the last transaction was April 2018. How was the bank paying the interest then? Was it on a yearly basis, or how was it?
I wouldn't know what's the method to calculate interest, how the bank will use it. I'm not very familiar with the bank's process or how do they calculate interest. I'm not familiar.
Okay. Yeah. Because from the statement here, I've not seen any interest that was earned.
Certainly there was interest.
There was interest. Okay. Yeah. So we'll take a look.
If we take an update of the statement before the close of the account,
okay.
That will be.
Okay. Thank you very much. Now let's go back to the famous MOJ 5. We're going back to the record of sales again.
Yes.
Now on the first page where you have Charno Jallo, you have that, right?
Yes.
That shows, okay. I think my colleague has touched on that one. Now if you look at the description,
yes.
73 bulls, but then the quantity is 23.
Yes. And
the unit cost is 320, and the total paid was also 320.
Yes.
So that doesn't add up. Because here your description is about 73 bulls, but the quantity is also saying 23.
It does not add up.
Yes.
There is a discrepancy.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, if you go also further down, number 7, which is Keba Danso.
Yes.
4 cows, quantity was 4, and the unit cost was 64, and the total paid was 64. So that's fine. Now, of interest is the following page about the cows.
Yeah.
If you look at before the cows, number 1, where you have Musa Sow, you've seen that. Musa Sow.
Musa's.
On top, number 1. That's the second page of the sales. Second page of the record of sales.
I'm not sure if I have.
Is the sales? Yeah, second page. That says Musa Sow.
It's here. It's here.
You got it.
Yeah.
Now, if you look on top, Musa Sow.
Yes.
It's showing 94 cattle.
Yes.
And it's also saying the unit cost was 13,000.
Yes.
Now, if you multiply 13,000 by 94, it doesn't give you 1,504,000. It gives you 1,222,000. So there's also another discrepancy.
There's a discrepancy. I don't know how that came about.
Yeah. So we means the figures, there's something wrong in the figures. Now let's go further down. If you go down to number 28, also same Musa Sow. Right? You've seen it?
Yes.
11 cows.
Yes. So
the 11 cows was sold for $10,000. Meaning, on average, a calf was sold for $909. You see,
yes,
if you divide 10,000 by 11, you get 909.
Okay.
So which means each calf that was sold to Musa Sow on number 28, he paid $909. Now, turn to the following page also. The third page that shows from Kisima Tambedu on top. The top shows Kisima Tambedu.
Yes.
You see the number 4, which is Mohammed Dem. You seen that?
Kisima Tambedu.
Yeah. After, you see the top is Kisima Tambedu.
Yes.
So, but if you go further down, number 4 is Mohammed Dem, right?
Yes.
You see Mohammed Dem was sold 1 calf for 12,000.
12,000.
So previously you sold a calf for 909, but this one is being sold for 12,000.
12,000.
Now turn to the following page on this calf issue, where you start with Alaji Sise on top. Alaji Sise was on top.
Yes.
So you see number 2, Aidanjai.
Yes.
Aidanjai also bought a calf for 2,000.
Yes.
Now if you go further down, Babakar Njai.
Number
9.
Okay.
Babakar Njai bought 3 cows total of 8,000. We mean he bought them for 2,666.
Yes.
Then if you go down below, Alhaji Madike Jallo, he bought 2 cows for 16,000. So there's so much inconsistency on the cost of cow, from $909 to 2,000, 2,600 to 16,000 to 3,500. What was the rationale of selling these cows, because they are all cows, for different prices? What was the rationale?
They may be referred to generally as cows, but maybe depending on the size too. I don't know. We were, like I said before, we were relying on an advice on what the guy on the ground and Mr. Jallo.
Which guy was that?
Mr. Cora.
Mr. Cora.
Yeah.
So Mr. Cora was
I didn't know value of cows. I have no expertise.
So who contracted Mr. Cora?
At first we thought maybe he's representing Gilma or whatever at first instance, but later on we learned that no, he was there at the instance of MOJ. But I later learned that recently that he was even a volunteer.
Volunteer?
Yeah.
But how did he know that cows are being sold?
I don't know. Because from the first day I was not there. When I found him on the ground, it was an error on my part. I did not ask him why his presence there.
All right. So I just want to align myself with my former colleague who actually stated that the records that are here from the Minister of Justice, they are inaccurate. For me, I look at them as sham record. By all means, mathematically, or you call it arithmetically, doesn't matter, but they are all sham. It's not correct. Okay. So because when you try to deduce some intelligence from it, but you can't, because they are all wrong. Unit cost, total cost, whatever, they're all wrong. Now, what baffles me actually is 4 of you, including yourself, from the sheriff office actually signed on this document stating that this actually is correct. That's what baffles me. Out of the 6 people, this is recorded by Alhaji Kasama, bailiff, witnessed by MOJ Aliu Jallo, which is fine, but also witnessed by Sidi Fati, number 2 from Syria. They witnessed by Modu Musa Sise, also a bailiff, and endorsed by yourself. So 4 out of the 6 people that took a look at this record claim to be correct when in fact it's a sham record. That's what baffles me still. How can that happen? 4 people from your office signing. I would say assuming that the records are correct, but in fact they are not. What's the issue here?
Like I said before, I consider that it was an error on our part for not verifying this record before signing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Justice, Honorable Justice, now let's go back to the receipting issue. Now, at the level of the sale, when you are there, yes, when you sell, how do you receipt? For example, you sell a landed property, for example, yes, or a car, whatever, yes, a movable property.
Yes.
How do you do the receipts?
The receipts, during my tenure, the payment is lodged at the central bank designated account of the sheriff, from where the payee would be presented with a deposit which he will present to the accountant attached at the sheriff's office. He would verify the payment, notwithstanding the deposit slip. He would verify.
So you are saying that they will go and make a deposit at the bank,
yeah, and
bring the receipt from the bank,
yeah,
and then what happens on your office?
They would, upon confirmation, they would issue the IFMIS receipts. Because we are directed not to issue manual receipt at that time.
Okay. Now, in this instance, in the sale of this livestock, have you issued IFMIS receipts?
No, we have requested all the buyers to come forward if any of them require a receipt to come forward. I'm not sure, I am not aware that anybody came forward, because most of them, once they carry the purchase, they did not turn up. I did not see any of them in the office.
But why would you do manual receipting when you actually have those IFMIS receipts? Why do you leave them behind when you already know that it's a requirement that IFMIS receipts, which is the GTRs, must be used?
No, it's not GTR. It's not even. We don't even have GTR receipts in our office.
You don't have that at all?
No, we don't.
When we are there?
No.
Now, I want to refer you to the financial regulations. That is on section 48 of the financial regulations. The standard form of receipt book is the general triplicate receipts, that's the GTR.
Yes.
Book which shall be used in each situation, except where the Accountant General has in writing authorized the use of some of the other forms. And this is entire the government. So you are saying that the sheriff actually overlook the law of the land where you are required to use a GTR, so you just went ahead and used your receipts.
We did not use our own receipt. We only issued notes to facilitate transportation. Then after we lodged it to the bank. But if anybody had come forward, we would have been able to issue them a receipt.
No, but Justice, I found that really very interesting because somebody pays for something.
Yes.
And then you know you have a receipt that you're supposed to give him. And this is the receipt that is authorized by the government to use. But you decide to put that aside and then...
No, we do not have that. We do not have that on the ground. We do not have this GTR receipts. The IFMIS receipts that I refer to, it's only issued by the accountant who has access to that portal to be able to generate the receipts.
Yeah, those are the online receipts.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is different from the GTR where you go, somebody makes a payment, then you, because this thing's in a triplicate. And the amount, whatever you are trying to set, then you give them. So when you come back, of course, you have to post those in the system, in the IFMIS system.
Yes.
So you can generate. So you are saying that at the level of the sheriff's office, when you were there, they were not using these receipts as directed by the
no, we were not using it at all.
Okay. So which means we can also say that the sheriff's office at the time also ignored the rule of the Financial Regulation 2016. That's part of the laws of the Gambia. You ignore that one as well.
We overlooked that. We did not take it into account.
Okay. Now, once these people, we're still on the receipts again. Now, those that bought the livestock, what have you given them to confirm that they are the owners of this particular livestock, be it a bull or a calf or a cow?
It's a handwritten note endorsed and stamped by the sheriff's stamp to facilitate transportation from the site.
Yeah. Now, the normal procedure that is used across this country,
yes,
and that's normally used by livestock sales and autocratic buying, is a triplicate actual receipt. This is actually used all over the country. It's called livestock sales and credit buying attestation. Here, they will tell you where you bought this item from, like the market, the region, the name of the owner, the national identification number, the telephone number of the person, and sold to whoever is buying. You also the same information, your ID number, your telephone number, the animal, the sex of the animal, so much information. And that's exactly what is the general receipt information actually shows. But again, this one also you have not used.
I was not even aware of this particular thing. Like I said before, if we had resort to Gilma, this would have been useful to us.
Yes, and that's correct. And that's why when the council referred you to you ignoring the court order, because the court order specifically said Gilma.
Yes.
So had you been in touch with Gilma, these things would have been
yeah.
But
yes,
again,
certainly, yeah.
Exactly, ignoring the court order really would not have helped you in any way. Yeah, okay. Now, finally, Honorable Chair, still now on the which we have not, the council actually has asked, but yet still I'm still not convinced about the advertisement, which was a requirement. There was no advertisement that was done on the sale of this cattle for various reasons you've mentioned. But what still baffles me is how did people know that this cattle are being sold at Kanilai or any other place in the Gambia? How do they know when it was not advertised anywhere? Not radio, not newspaper, nowhere. How did they know? That one, I know the council has asked this question, yes, but the answer was still not clear to me.
Like Honorable has also asked,
yes.
I personally, I have not done the advertisement, and there was no advertisement as such.
Yeah.
But like I said, I only assume maybe what have may go around, people informing, maybe at the instance of Minister of Justice, the applicant, or But on my side, it's possible some of my staff may have communicated to some of these dealers, but I was not privy to that, and I certainly have not communicated with anybody. I can tell you.
Yeah, but if I remember correctly, you said maybe you have never dealt with such before. Is that correct?
Yeah, this is the first time.
So then, how would maybe the staff that you work with, the bailiff and also the odd deputy sheriff, how would they know these dealers? If your office have never dealt with such before, you know, if it is like land, some automotive I can understand, like if a car I can understand, but the livestock which you've never dealt with before, but then all these people coming up forward to buy. If you look at the list, you know, a lot of them.
Quite a number of people.
Quite a number of them actually. And you have some very big people from Abuko also coming. So I don't know how.
I'm only assuming.
Okay.
It might be with personal contacts. For me, from the list, I only know Mr. Jeng.
Okay. All right.
But notwithstanding, I did not have any contact with Ally Jeng at the time.
All right. Thank you very much, Justice.
Thank you.
Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Justice Tabally.
Thank you.
I will start with saying, not conducting a valuation is a clear violation of the court order, which you admit.
Yes.
Will you agree with the committee that in the absence of that valuation, that could lead to a potential economic loss to the state?
I agree, yes.
And if you agree that will cause a lot of economic loss to the state, will you be willing, if this is costed, you foot the bill? Because you admit that your actions led to a lot of economic loss to the state.
No, I'm not admitting in the sense that I'm personally liable.
Okay, all right. All right. Especially coupled with a lot of other inconsistencies in the sales report.
Yes.
It's a huge loss, economic loss. All right. In your statement at paragraph 12, when you said some of the cattle were sold in herds, can you further elaborate on that?
I explained before that some small like cows, they cannot be sold in the absence of the cow. So that's why they need to group them together to sell them at that point. That's what I meant by in.
Well, if you talk about herds, that means a multiple number of head of cattle.
Yes.
So meaning that
the description herds, because the terminology I used there, maybe I only meant groups, but to say herds may be a larger group or whatever.
Very well.
Yes.
Okay. Otherwise, I would have asked if you could inform the committee who might have both those herds.
Yeah, exactly. So the description herds may be a wrong terminology there.
Okay. Justice, what do you mean by manual receipt in paragraph 14 of your statement?
The manual receipting that I refer to is there was a book, a receipt, that's the name of the sheriff at the time, that was developed and then kept at the sheriff where it is issued on payment. Those are the receipts that we were advised not to use anymore. So that's the one I refer to as manual receipts.
Okay.
We go along with that. Before I assumed office, that was the one that the office was using to issue to potential buyers or buyers of various properties. That's what I mean by that manual receipting.
Okay. Would I be right to say the office of the sheriff did not quantify the number of cattle before the sales on the grounds?
Yes, like your colleague had said before, asked before, like an inventory could have solved that problem to quantify the number. We did not do that.
And you mentioned a task force. Can you inform this committee what you mean, or can you inform this committee what was the name of this particular task force?
I only know that there was a task force at the instance of the Ministry of Justice, but except the representative from my office, I don't know what's their mandate and who are the other members.
Would the ministerial task force ring a bell for you? A ministerial task force? Or could it be a ministerial task force?
I don't know whether it's a ministerial task force or not, but it's being referred to as a task force.
But are you aware of a ministerial task force being formed at the Ministry of Justice?
I'm not aware.
You're not aware?
I'm not aware.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Honorable, yes, we need more clarification to, please, quickly.
Thank you, Chair. Justice Tabally, I just made clarification on two things. One is, in your earlier engagement with counsel, you frequently used the description that this was an unusual scenario. Can you add context to that? Where was it unusual?
In that we have, in my memory and on my tenure at the sheriff's office, we have never dealt with such sale concerning livestock. That's what I mean by unusual. One, at the instance of the state to dispose of a property belonging to a former head of state, and the circumstances surrounding it, and the pressure on the office at the time. That's why I said it's unusual. Because ordinarily, if it was a usual sheriff sale, we would have taken our time, go and take inventory on our own accord. But this one was presented to us. The normal sheriff sale would entail the sheriff taking custody of the property or the subject of sale first, and then request for evaluation on that property preceding the sale, and even advertisement. But this one, they are talking about properties being perished, going astray, or that's why I said, I used the word unusual. So I have never had this experience before.
Based on your explanation, yes, it's based on three things.
Yes.
One, you do not have custody,
yes,
of the assets being disposed.
Yes.
And two, they involve disposal of assets that belong to a former president.
Yes.
And thirdly, pressure was on you.
Yes.
Now, let us break this down. Where was the pressure coming from?
Like I said before, when this was presented to us, and I spoke to Mr. Jallo, he is saying that if...
who is Mr. Jallo?
Jallo I referred to, which at the time, personally, I assumed that he was acting on the instance of the applicant, that if he had been to the site before, and these cattle are perishing, if we don't move fast, time is of essence. That's what I mean.
So the pressure you mean is not concluded on it based on the submissions of Mr. Jallo?
Not only that, the notion that they are perishing, that's also a factor.
But that notion was presented to you by Jallo?
Yes.
And you believe he was acting on the instant of who, the applicant?
Yes.
Not so?
Yes.
Was that confirmed? Did you confirm that he was acting on the instance of the applicant?
No, I assume that he was acting because he had presented this order one.
Now you need your confirmation, not the assumption. Yeah. Did you confirm that he was? I did not confirm it.
I did not.
So which means the pressure you are talking about was based on the submission from Mr. Jallo?
Yes.
In hindsight, would you have taken that as a pressure?
No, I would not.
Which means the pressure is not there. There was no pressure on you?
Yes.
Absolutely none. Now let's look at the custody element. Who was having custody of the livestock?
We didn't know. I didn't know. At the time, I did not know who.
No, who? But eventually, you knew.
Yes.
Who was having the custody?
When we went on site, I want to believe that the army officers who were there, because Ali would coordinate with them before arriving. When we arrive, they would be the one to lead us where they have gathered this cattle.
You've never interacted with the army officers?
I have never.
You were again relying on Ali?
Yes, we went to the sites and then I have never interacted with any of them.
So which means the issue of the custody also, you relied on the verbal submission of Ali? Ali Jallo?
I wouldn't say it's verbal because visibly I have seen the custody.
Then tell us who was having custody of the livestock. Because these are the three benchmarks you use to justify that it was unusual. And now we have proven that there was no pressure on you. We want to know where the custody was.
The custody was those who were in charge of those various farms, like the army officers. That's what I refer to. I don't know, I cannot remember offhand the names of the army officers now.
But these army officers, were they answerable to you?
No.
With regards to the upkeep of those livestock?
No, they were not answerable to.
After the court order, they were not answerable to you?
No.
Did you ever tell them to hand over the ownership of the cattle to an individual after sales and they say no? Have they ever defied your order?
No, I did not have. Like I said, I have no...
No, I'm asking you. Now, you people on the ground who were doing the sales, did they ever report to you that sales were done and the armed officers refused to give custody to the individuals who made the cases?
No.
That never happened?
No.
So which means the custody was in your hand? The only thing the armed officers were doing was to guard the property and make sure that no harm came to them.
We only had custody, custody here. If preceding the sales, we take custody and you know what you have. For this one, we will only go on the day of the sale, and they will be presented to us on site. There, and then the sale will take place.
Was that by design or was it deliberate? Was it by design? By design, I mean, did the court order tell you to just go and do the sales? Or did it tell you monitor the sales? Because if you look at paragraph 3(4), the court order gave you the authority to conduct the sales.
Yes.
And if you want to conduct the sales, which means that comes with accountability. Nothing stopped you, Justice Tabally, to take inventory. Was there any hindering factor to your office taking inventory?
At the time, we did not even know the whereabouts of the cattle.
But you know where to sell them, right?
Yes, we were told that they are at these various places. So when we will go there, they were presented to us. They were brought out in the open and then gathered there before even have arrived.
Yes, what I'm saying is, we didn't know where they were, but on the day of sales, we were able to sell them.
Yes.
Which means we knew where they were.
On the day, yes.
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 Why didn't you go before and count them? We are talking about custody now.
Yes.
Why didn't you go and count them before selling? Was there anything in the court order barring you from taking an inventory, an independent one?
In hindsight, we could have done that, but we had some challenges as well. Because one, given the location, especially in Kanilai, moving from Banjul to take inventory, at whose expense? I alluded to that before. At whose expense? Who will pay for that? Because the sheriff's office have no vote of it to move from one side to another. There is no official vehicle attached to the sheriff's office to move, to take those things. All inventories in other matters are done at the expense of the judgment creditor.
When you went to conduct the sales, it was at whose expense?
At our own expense, yes.
Then what difference is there?
But that would require us going back and forth many days.
And that would have saved the state millions of dollars. And I will just ask you now, whether you agree to the fact that if you had done a valuation, the pricing would have been different.
Yes.
And that the lack of variation, whether you agree to the fact that it resulted in economic losses, and you said yes.
Yes.
So which means, Justice Tabally, all the three benchmarks you are using to justify this particular sales being unusual does not stand. With regard to the issue of authority, you relied on Mr. Aludalo, thinking he was acting on the instance of the applicant, which you never confirmed. And on hindsight, now you are saying there was no pressure. With regards to custody as well, the soldiers who were there were only protecting the livestock, but they never stopped you from selling. With regards to the inventory as well, there is nothing provided in the court order that stops you from taking an independent inventory.
I agree. Yeah.
You agree to that? Honorable Chair, just the last one. Along with council, you said the mandate to the bank account was changed. Is that right?
The signatories.
The signatories.
Yes.
Who were the initial signatories to the bank account?
I said myself as a sheriff then, and the then judicial secretary.
And the then judicial secretary?
Who is Justice Landing Sane now.
Okay, then who was the then judicial secretary?
At the time of the change of signatories. Now Justice Aisha Jalosi.
No, I don't mean now.
Yes.
The judicial secretary, so co-signatory to the account, what was his name? Or what was her name?
Co-signatory, well, that's Justice Landing Sane that I referred to.
Justice Landing Sane, which means yourself and Justice Landing Sane were the signatories to the account.
Yes.
Who changed the mandate to the account?
When I exited the office of the sheriff, I requested that I be removed as signatory because I don't want anything to do with it. I requested for that, and then it is the proper thing to do because I'm no longer sheriff.
Your request, where did you write it to? You sent it to the ministry?
Not to the ministry, the judicial administration.
You sent it to the judicial administration?
No, it was a verbal, in the course of a meeting, I raised the issue that I'm receiving these alerts from the bank. I'm no longer the sheriff. I don't need to know anything about this account or be privy to or to do anything with the account anymore. It is proper for the signatories to change now.
Now my question is, who wrote to the bank to change the mandate?
The letter was authored, I signed, and my co-signatory also signed.
And then you send it to the bank?
Yes.
Okay. The last one, the issue of Gilmer. For me, it's a matter of convenience. I think council have taken me on it, and my colleague, Right Honorable, also have taken me on it, but I'm not convinced. Saying it was mere lapses is rather too convenient for me. What was supposed to be the role of Gilmer?
Pursuant to the order, they were to assist the sheriff in valuation of the cattle.
In the absence of Gilmer, who did you take?
We did not use any order to value, but on site of the sale, there was somebody who assisted to place value